And this is part 2 of Cognitive CBT Part 9. I realize that it's a little hard to explain how to do the checklist without an example, so I'm going to explain an experience in a situation I was in and how it would apply with the checklist. So about 3 years ago, me and Al, we weren't married at the time, and my parents, this is about 3 years ago, I might have said that, we went to a pizza place, and I remember this distinctly, or specifically, because I remember the feelings that I had, and it's the feelings I have a lot when I'm out in a social situation. So the memories that I remember the most are from the feelings that the situation gave me. So we were eating pizza, and I'll just go over this checklist and explain how it works. Now with this, you don't want to, I don't know if you can see it. So it has 1 being not at all, or no, 0 being none at all, to 3 being a lot. With the 0, you do not check anything off here, because that would be you getting a point for something that doesn't apply to you, so you just leave it blank. If it's a 3, you would not put the number 3 and count that as 3 points. You would just check it off, and that would be considered 1. I believe. No, you don't do that. You do put the actual number 3 and 3. Okay. So I was doing it wrong. No wonder it came up that I just had minimal anxiety the first time I did it. So here we go. Okay, so we were at the pizza place, and I started to get all these, like, I could feel that it was anxiety. So 1, anxiety, nervous, worry, or fear. So I would have to say moderately, so that's 2. Feeling that things around you are strange, unreal, or foggy, no. Feeling detached from all the body parts, no. Sudden expected panic spell, I'd say yes somewhat, because I felt a little panicked. Apprehension and sense of impending doom, yes, I would say somewhat, so that's a 1. Feeling tense, stressed, uptight, or on edge. Yes, I would say somewhat. That's a 1. Difficulty concentrating. I'm not going to mark that I had difficulty concentrating, because I was still aware of the things around me. And in fact, that's what was the cause of the situation for me, is there was a lot of things going on. And my social anxiety, it's hard for me to be around groups of people, large groups of people, without getting some of these symptoms. But difficulty concentrating, no. I'm not going to mark it off. Now, in some other situations, I'd say, yeah, that it's just like, if I go to church or like a meeting, it's hard for me to focus on what I'm supposed to be learning when there's kids in front of me and back of me, and there's paper wrinkling and people. It's hard for me to concentrate. Now, that's a different situation. But with this particular situation, I didn't have difficulty concentrating. Racing thoughts or having your mind jump from one thing to the next. I would say 1. Moderately. Somewhat, not moderately, just somewhat. Frightening fantasies or daydreams, no. Feeling that you are on the verge of losing control. Somewhat. Not. I feel like I did a good job at controlling myself. I used some of the cognitive tools that I had already known. Fears of cracking up or going crazy, no. Fears of fainting or passing out, no. Fears of physical illness or heart attack or dying, no. Concerns about looking foolish, inadequate in front of others, yes. I'd say 2. That's pretty moderate on that one. Fears of being alone, isolated, or abandoned, no. Fears of criticism or disapproval, yes. That is pretty moderate. I was afraid of my parents and my future husband-to-be to get really angry at me for the way that I felt, even though because when a person, maybe it's not you, but maybe you're with someone who's starting to have these anxieties and feelings, and they shut down in their own defense almost, you can get angry at them. So I was afraid that they were going to get angry at me for feeling the way that I felt, even though it wasn't their problem. So then they would get angry with me, and then not only do I have this anxiety, but now they're angry with me, and it's like a domino effect. It just continue, because we're at 6 minutes. Okay, physical symptoms: skipping or racing heartbeat, no. Pain, pressure, tightness in chest, no. Tingling and numbness of toes, no. Butterflies and discomfort in the stomach, yes. It's pretty moderate. Constipation or diarrhea, I always have diarrhea. I know you want to know that. I have EPI, so a lot of things come out. I'm not even going to check that off because it's normal for me to have water come out my butthole. Restlessness or jumpiness, no. Tight, tense muscles, no. Sweating, not because of heat, no. A lump in the throat, no. Trembling or shaking, I felt like I was. I don't know if it was visible to my parents or to Al. I think my mom notices things more about me than anyone else, because I think I talk to her kind of like I'm talking to you. So my mom might have noticed. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I know that I was, and that was pretty moderate. Rubbery or jelly legs, no. Feeling dizzy, lightheaded, or off balance, no. Choking, smothering sensations, or difficulty breathing, no. Headaches or pain in the neck and back, no. Hot flashes or cold chills. When I get really nervous, sometimes I will get really cold. I remember being cold, but it could have been the room. So we'll just put a very mild, somewhat, because it's hard for me to tell sometimes. I'm feeling tired, weak, or easily exhausted. Yes. And that's pretty. So we have we're at a 33. So that on this chart would have been considered severe anxiety, 33. I wouldn't consider that situation to be severe. Like, even though the numbers racked up, I wouldn't consider that situation to have been a severe attack for me. I would consider that mild. But depending on what symptoms you have could determine how severe it was. Like, even if you have one of these symptoms, okay, say you have one symptom and it is shaking, racing, and pounding heartbeat, that is a physical. The physical symptoms are more extreme. Like, you feel them, you know it's an issue, you know this is going to be a problem. So it is. Sometimes that's when you have to evaluate you. You know when you have to leave a situation, or if it's in your best interest to stay in the situation. It depends on you, because everybody is different and experiences anxiety different. So for me, I would say that would be moderate anxiety. Although clinically, with all this, it would have said it was severe. So, it's a good checklist to go over. I think that it is helpful. And you just think of a situation that you're in and do it and see what comes up. And if you agree with it. I don't agree that it was severe. I agree that it was mild. But you can do your own stuff. That was just my experience. I hope that helped you to understand how the checklist works. As always, only according to Lou.